Kṛṣṇa, the battle rages, conquering the mind. Hare Kṛṣṇa. Hare Kṛṣṇa, Hare Kṛṣṇa, Kṛṣṇa Kṛṣṇa, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Kṛṣṇa, Hare. From wherever the mind wanders, you have to bring it back. Bring it back to Kṛṣṇa. Wow! Hare Kṛṣna, Hare Kṛṣna, Kṛṣna Kṛṣna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Kṛṣna. Mantra! To control the mind, fix it on Kṛṣna. Hare Kṛṣna, Hare Kṛṣna, Kṛṣna Kṛṣna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Sounds easy, right? Yeah. Hare Kṛṣna, Hare Kṛṣna, Kṛṣna Kṛṣna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Kṛṣna, Hare Kṛṣna, Kṛṣna Kṛṣna, Hare Hare. Armed with yoga, stand and fight. Hare Kṛṣna. Hare Kṛṣna. Hare Kṛṣna, Kṛṣna Kṛṣna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Kṛṣna, Hare Kṛṣna, Kṛṣna Kṛṣna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Kṛṣna, Hare Kṛṣna, Kṛṣna Kṛṣna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Kṛṣna, Hare Kṛṣna. Cuckoo, Kṛṣna. Hare Kṛṣna, time to chant Hare Kṛṣna. Hare Kṛṣna, Hare Kṛṣna, Kṛṣna Kṛṣna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Kṛṣna, Hare Kṛṣna, Kṛṣna Kṛṣna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Kṛṣna, Hare Kṛṣna, Kṛṣna Kṛṣna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Kṛṣna, Hare Kṛṣna, Kṛṣna Kṛṣna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Hare Rama. The problem is, once you get a little taste of Kṛṣna, you have some little something, awakening or whatever, and you can't stop, and then you have to keep pushing forward. And as you try to keep pushing forward, Krishna's calling, he's come this way. Come this way, I'm sending help. Come this way. The mind has so many bad habits and gets attached and actually obsessed with all kinds of stupid things. It holds you back from Kṛṣna. So that's when you have to keep cutting away, keep smashing that stupid mind. You have to tell it, no, stop it. Look, it's a bad child or something. You have to discipline the mind. It reaches that point eventually. You have to really do that. Hare Kṛṣna, Hare, you actually have to do it. Hare Rama, Hare Rama, the mind will just drag you all over hell and gone. It just goes everywhere. Hare Kṛṣna, Hare Kṛṣna, Kṛṣna Kṛṣna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Kṛṣna, Hare Kṛṣna, Kṛṣna Kṛṣna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Kṛṣna, Hare Kṛṣna, Kṛṣna Kṛṣna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Kṛṣna, Hare Kṛṣna, Kṛṣna Kṛṣna. It can fix on anything. Hare Kṛṣna, it can obsess on anything, the mind. Hare Kṛṣna, Hare Kṛṣna, Kṛṣna Kṛṣna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Kṛṣna, Hare Kṛṣna, Kṛṣna Kṛṣna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Kṛṣna, Hare Kṛṣna, Kṛṣna Kṛṣna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Kṛṣna, Hare Kṛṣna, Kṛṣna Kṛṣna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Kṛṣna, Hare Kṛṣna, Kṛṣna Kṛṣna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Kṛṣna, Hare Kṛṣna, Kṛṣna Kṛṣna, Hari Hari, Hari Rama, Rama Rama, Hari Hari, Hari Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hari Hari, Hari Rama, Rama Rama, Hari Hari, Hari Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hari Hari, Hari Rama, Rama Rama, Hari Hari, Hari Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hari Hari, Hari Rama, Rama Rama, Hari Hari, Hari Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hari Hari, Hari Rama, Rama Rama, Hari Hari, Hari Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hari Hari, Hari Rama, Rama Rama, Hari Hari, Hari Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hari Hari, Hari Rama, Rama Rama, Hari Hari, Hari Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hari Hari, Hari Rama, Rama Rama, Hari Hari. So Srila Prabhupada, great saint, emissary, ambassador for Krishna, empowered to help anyone who will simply hear from him. It's in his books. His miracle books. Kṛṣṇa. Oh, for goodness sake. All right, there we go. So let me read a little something about Kṛṣṇa from Prabhupada. This is prayers offered by Lord Brahmā to Lord Kṛṣṇa. Brahmā tested Kṛṣṇa. He wanted to see, when Kṛṣṇa was appearing as a little cowherd boy, he wanted to see his magnificence, some more of his powers. So he stole all the calves and boyfriends when Kṛṣṇa was enacting that pastime, and hid them away. He wanted to see what Kṛṣṇa would do. And Kṛṣṇa displayed like to Arjuna, Kṛṣṇa displayed universal form. To Madhyasoda, he displayed universal form. To Lord Brahmā, he displayed how he had expanded so many Vishnu forms to replace the calves and boys that were stolen. He's showing his different powers, and it really floored Brahmā. He couldn't. It's too much. But that's what he wanted. He wanted to see that, and as I was reading the other day, that because I was wondering, why did he do that? Why did he challenge Kṛṣṇa? He wanted to see, but it was also to show that Kṛṣṇa, this original form, acting like a little cowherd boy, is the source of all everything. And that was how Lord Brahmā did that. He proved that Kṛṣṇa is the Supreme Personality of Godhead. And everything is emanating from him. Vishnu forms, Mahatattva, the whole spiritual world, the whole material creation, everything's coming from this Kṛṣṇa. And it was interesting, he saw the way Kṛṣṇa displayed it to him was he showed them all emanating from him, all these Vishnu forms. And then he showed them all coming back into him. And what was amazing was also, that word doesn't really even accommodate it, but was that both he, Lord Brahmā, and Kṛṣṇa were inside Kṛṣṇa, and yet were outside Kṛṣṇa. And that was as if displaying all the Vishnu forms wasn't enough. That was completely over the top. He could only say it was inconceivable how he could be inside and outside, the both of them inside and the both of them outside. All he said is just inconceivable. He couldn't understand it. So his prayers here, continue to read a paragraph or two. Brahmā says, one who has attained a little devotional service can understand your glories. Even one striving for Brahman realization or Paramatma realization cannot understand the different features of your personality unless he treads the devotional path. One may be the spiritual master of many impersonalists, or he may go to the forest or to a cave or mountain and meditate as a hermit for many, many years, but he cannot understand your glories without being favored by a slight degree of devotional service. Brahman realization or Paramatma realization are also not possible even after one searches for many, many years, unless one is touched by the wonderful effect of devotional service. My dear Lord, I pray that I may be so fortunate that in this life or in another life, wherever I may take my birth, I may be counted as one of your devotees. Wherever I may be, I pray that I may be engaged in your devotional service. I do not even care what form of life I get in the future, because I can see that even in the form of cows and calves or cowherd boys, the devotees are so fortunate to be always engaged in your transcendental, loving service and association. Therefore, I wish to be one of them instead of such an exalted person as I am now, for I am full of ignorance. The gopis and cows of Vrindavan are so fortunate that they have been able to supply their breast milk to you. Persons who are engaged in performing great sacrifices and offering many valuable goats in the sacrifice cannot attain the perfection of understanding you, but simply by devotional service, these innocent village women and cows are all able to satisfy you with their milk. You have drunk their milk to satisfaction, yet you are never satisfied by those engaged in performing sacrifices. I am simply surprised, therefore, with the fortunate position of Maharaj Nanda, Mother Yasoda, the cowherd men and gopis, because you, the Supreme Personality of Godhead, the Absolute Truth, are existing here as their most intimate, loving object. My dear Lord, no one can actually appreciate the good fortune of these residents of Vrindavan. We are all demigods, controlling deities of the various senses of the living entities, and we are proud of enjoying such privileges. Actually, there's no comparison between our position and the position of these fortunate residents of Vrindavan, because they're actually relishing your presence and enjoying your association by dint of their activities. We may be proud of being controllers of the senses, but here the residents of Vrindavan are so transcendental that they are not under our control. Actually, they are enjoying the senses through service to you. I shall therefore consider myself fortunate to be given a chance to take birth in this land of Vrindavan in any of my future lives. My dear Lord, I am therefore not interested in either material opulences or liberation. I am most humbly praying at your lotus feet for you to please give me any sort of birth within this Vrindavan forest, so that I may be able to be favored by the dust of the feet of some of the devotees of Vrindavan. Even if I am given the chance to grow just as a humble grass in this land, that will be a glorious birth for me. But if I am not so fortunate to take birth within the forest of Vrindavan, I beg to be allowed to take birth outside the immediate area of Vrindavan, so that when the devotees go out, they will walk over me. Even that would be a great fortune for me. I am aspiring for a birth in which I will be smeared by the dust of the devotees' feet. I can see that everyone here is simply full of Krishna consciousness. You do not know anything but Mukunda. All the Vedas are indeed searching after the lotus feet of Kṛṣṇa. Okay. Jai Śrīla Prabhupada. Hare Krishna. Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shri Vasudeva Gaura Bhaktivinoda. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Ram Ram, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Ram Ram, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Ram Ram, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Ram Ram, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Ram Ram, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Ram Ram, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Ram Ram, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Ram Ram, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Ram Rama, Hare Hare.